Aloha, this is Samo Guy in Hawaii with a look at some helpful numbers from both this and the previous hunt. The March hunt had 318 items. This one has 369. That's 51 more items to find, or an increase of about 16%. About a dozen Cycle Creek DLC non-legendary uniques were dropped from the list, but then came DLC 6 content, which was not out in March, and the 3 seasonal events, which are now permanent. So the list is bigger. On the other hand, the total point or the point total has dropped. Individual item scores have been adjusted, flattened out really, with the vast majority of legendaries dropping from 3 points to 2. Last hunt, 1145 was max score. This time it's 934. More importantly, the time constraint has also changed. The former rules limited each hunter to a maximum of 60 hours streaming time during the 5-day event run, with restrictions on maximum streaming segments and required downtime. The shortest combined stream time determined the winner from those who managed to collect all listed items. The winter hunt runs 7.5 days with no restrictions on time. Instead, actual character game time, as shown on the character select screen, will be used as a tiebreaker for those who collect all 369 items. This should make the overall experience more relaxed for everyone. As long as we save, quit, or even pause at the game, if I'm not mistaken, the game time does not pass. This also evens the playing field a bit for console players who often have to deal with longer load times versus their PC counterparts. But that doesn't mean we can screw around. More time, yes, but also more items. Let's be generous and say we spend half of the total period from the 3rd through the 10th on the hunt. 12 hours on the hunt for the first each day for the first 6 days, and 6 hours on that last half day. That's 90 hours or 5,400 minutes. Divide that by 369 and we get 14.63, or a little over 14 and a half minutes. This means that if we spend 90 hours on the hunt, we need to, on average, collect one item every 14 and a half minutes. This is actually much better than the last hunt, where the average was a little over 11 minutes, but we still need to be efficient. There's that word again. And that's only if we spend 90 hours. Some will stream more than that. The average required time will be longer. Some a lot less, so less time. If you want a better idea, take the total time you plan to stream in minutes and divide by 369. Alternatively, there's a much simpler yardstick for gauging progress. 369 items divided by 7.5 days equals just over 49 items per day. Assuming we hunt every day, if we can scavenge at least 50 items a day, especially on the first day when options tend to be limited, we're doing really well. Okay, this is the magic 50 in the title. If we can average 50 or more on any day, regardless of how much time we actually spend on the hunt, we are doing really well. But old guy, you say, I'm not trying to get everything, just maximize my score, and not all drops are scored equally. That is true. And if we're trying to maximize our score and don't think we can get everything, then yes, we need to consider point value when deciding what to farm, when, and this is where our spreadsheet yet again comes in handy. Out of 369 items totaling 934 points, these are the numbers and percentages for each of the 4 point values, 1, 2, 5, and 10. 2-point legendaries make up the bulk of points, but the 5-pointers cannot be ignored. That group, by the way, includes 19 Mayhem locked high-level items. Okay. On the other hand, the 6 10-point items here, while Guardian Takedown exclusives, are not Mayhem locked. Now, lots of people have an aversion to running Guardian Takedown. If we have to ignore something until late, ignore those 60 points. It's endgame stuff anyway, so it should not be an issue till later in the hunt. Then again, this is normal mode, scaled not true, non-Mayhem Guardian Takedown. That, like everything else, is a lot easier to deal with less than ideal gear. Okay. My advice is to go through and get everything except the Mayhem Lock 19 and the non-Mayhem GTD stuff. Then try to run it to a Guardian. If we like it and or get lucky, we stick with it till we get all 6. If not, then we move to Mayhem. Grab some M11 gear from the vending machines, then drop back to M0, M4, M6 to get all those Mayhem locked items. If in the process we get stuff that makes our build effective enough, drop back down to M1 and then try Guardian Takedown again, because M1 is not that harder than M0. Okay. In any case, there are lots of ways to approach the list, especially the 5-pointers, and there are lots of other variables. Some sources, like the Takedowns and the Power Troopers, often drop multiple items. Arms Race, where every unique counts, even as a world drop, can be very generous during initial runs. On the other hand, some content, like the start of the first 4 DLCs, has little or no drops. There are also stretches in the main game and all DLCs where we have to get through a lot of story with little or no hunt drop sources to get to the good stuff. And then, of course, there's RNG, which sometimes just really doesn't like us. How you do it is up to you, but try to have some kind of plan. And at the very least, remember the Magic 50. Also, there's a Magic 50 equivalent for points. Divide 934 points by 7.5 days, we get 124.5 points a day. If we can average 124 points a day, regardless of the number of items, we're doing really well. Actually, we're doing better than really well because remember, a lot of the 5 and 10 pointers are endgame stuff we won't even get a crack at till later in the hunt. Okay. One last caveat. Having stated 50 and 124 as magic numbers to aim for, don't get too wrapped up in them on day one. Okay, day one tends to be the hardest for everybody, and not just because options with a new character are limited. We're also getting used to a new routine with clipping and posting and grabbing credit, as well as streaming and trying to maintain a fun attitude for what is in fact a charity event for a great cause. So remember, it's the holidays. Remember, it's for a good cause. Remember to have fun. And as always, stay safe, and thanks for watching.